How to find your happiness. I want to invite you to take part in a little experiment. When you finish this video, today, tomorrow, or sometime this week, ask yourself one question. When during my day, do I feel closest to God? You can ask it in traffic, while cooking, or in silence before sleep. Now, how many of you feel excited about this? Probably none, because it sounds simple, but it points toward something eternal. Yet I believe this question could change your life, because it might lead you to something every human heart was created for, the happiness that comes from God. For years, I thought I had that happiness. I had a stable job, some comfort, and a life that looked peaceful. But each morning I woke up with the same whisper in my heart. Is this all? I wasn't desperate, just drifting. And that's worse because suffering can wake the soul, but comfort can slowly put it to sleep. So I did what many of us do when peace disappears. I looked for it everywhere except in prayer. I searched in books, screens, and noise. But the more I chased happiness, the more it faded. One evening I opened the Confessions of Saint Augustine and read, "You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our heart is restless until it rests in you." That line changed everything. Happiness isn't something you find. It's something you receive when your heart comes back home to Christ. From that night on, I stopped asking what will make me happy and started asking where can I meet Christ in what I do. And what followed wasn't a formula for success. It was a journey of faith, a slow awakening to joy that can't be taken away. The biggest mistake people make about happiness is thinking that it's a possession, a title, a dream, a role. If I become that, I finally be happy, they say. But happiness is not a thing, it's an act. It is the moment when love overcomes ego, when prayer becomes breath, when giving feels lighter than keeping. The fathers called this grace in motion. When doing good ignites joy, and joy makes you want to do more good. The secret is finding where the grace begins in you. I learned it one Tuesday, staring at a screen of numbers when a sudden thought struck. If I vanish tomorrow, nothing here would notice. That realization trembled inside me. My life was useful, but not fruitful. My heart wasn't offered to anyone, not even to God. That night I made a small vow, not to flee the world or chase new adventures, but to listen for the quiet movements of grace in the middle of my ordinary life. Every evening I asked myself one question: what moment today gave my soul peace instead of unrest? Sometimes it was forgiving an old heart. Sometimes it was helping a stranger. Sometimes it was praying honestly for the first time that day. After a few weeks, I saw the pattern. Every moment of peace involved love, humble, simple, unnoticed love. And suddenly, happiness stopped being mysterious. It was hidden inside every act of love that reflected the light of Christ. Scientists say the brain rewards kindness. The church says the soul rejoices because kindness brings us back to our true nature, made in the image of God. Joy, then, is not mystical fog, it is spiritual order. As the psalm says, light is sown for the righteous and gladness for the upright in heart. But here's the paradox. The more you chase happiness itself, the less you find it. Because joy is the fruit of love, not its substitute. Around that time, began speaking with people who carried quiet joy, monks, mothers, teachers, workers. I asked each of them, when did you find true happiness? Almost all of them smiled and said, when I stopped searching for it and started serving. That's when I saw the truth. Happiness grows in the soil of service. When we stop asking, what do I want from life? And start asking, what does God want from me? Everything changes. Let me tell you about someone who taught me this more than any book. A man named Nicholas. He worked as a cleaner in a small monastery guest house. Each morning he scrubbed floors and polished lamps. When I asked if he ever got tired, he said, tired? I'm preparing a place for pilgrims to rest their souls. When they see cleanliness, he said, they feel cared for. When they rest, they can pray. My broom is my prayer rope. Nicholas wasn't rich or known, but he had something I didn't: peace. He had built his happiness from obedience and love. That's when I realized maybe we don't have to find happiness. Maybe we only have to notice where it already lives. Happiness isn't waiting in the next promotion or the perfect plan. It's in how we offer the little things to God each day. As the Lord said, he who is faithful in little is faithful also in much. Happiness begins in the little. But most of us never notice. We fill our lives with noise until meaning can barely fit between our appointments. We measure life by achievement, not alignment. We chase what makes us look joyful instead of what makes the soul rejoice. That's how we fall into the ancient trap, the illusion of success without grace. You can win everything and still feel empty inside. I fell into it myself. After I began speaking about joy, I was invited everywhere: conferences, interviews, panels. And ironically, the more I talked about happiness, the less I felt it. I realized I was performing peace instead of living it. So I returned to the one question that had started it all. What gives my soul life instead of draining it? And the answer came back quietly. Honesty. Honesty before God, honesty with myself, honesty with others. That's when I began to breathe again. Over time, I saw that happiness has 3 layers. The personal layer, peace between you and God. The relational layer, mercy toward others. The eternal layer, the longing for heaven. You don't have to define them all today. Begin with the first, and the others will follow like daylight after dawn. Happiness isn't a sudden revelation. It is the slow harmony between what you do and who God made you to be. Every Sunday, I wrote down 3 moments from the week when I felt close to Christ. No judgment, no goals, just awareness. Over months, a rhythm appeared. Moments of silence, acts of kindness, words of truth. They were my fingerprints of joy. And I learned, finding your happiness isn't about chasing one great why. It's about gathering your small whys until they form the cross that leads you home. So now it's your turn. Try this experiment. When you finish watching, ask yourself, or someone you love, when today did you feel closest to God? When they answer, don't argue or explain. Just listen, then share yours. In that moment, you are not merely talking, you are sharing grace. You are meeting on holy ground where joy is born. We live in a world obsessed with progress but starving for peace. We scroll for hope but forget to pray for it. But the truth is, happiness is not a secret hidden by the universe. It's the voice of Christ quietly saying, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you." So build it, one prayer, one act of love, one honest confession at a time. Happiness doesn't begin when you arrive somewhere. It begins the moment you return to God. So go now, find a stranger, a friend, or a quiet moment alone. Ask, when do I feel closest to God? And when your answer, you may discover you've been walking with Him all along. See you next time. Peace.